guys, Trudy here with Panhandle Power Wash Supply, and I want to talk a little bit about the industry paint issues. A lot of you guys know that I have been investigating this problem for about 13, 14 years. My company, wash company, had changed 2 houses in 1 month, and we had the newest equipment. We have been educated, we're experienced, and we had no idea what was going on with this. Through my investigating and my testing and calling corporate offices and visiting paint stores and just trying to get to the bottom of this, I've tracked it down to 2005 is when this first started happening. When I got my hands on the pigment, I pulled the SDS sheets, I started investigating everything, and it was manufactured in 2005. My timeline was perfect on that, but the reason I want to talk to you today is I have got a local contractor that called me over the weekend, and I couldn't really talk to him because I was out camping and playing in my side-by-side, so I had no signal, but I was able to text back and forth. So his company had changed a house, and he called me asking he said, I didn't think it would happen. He said, I know I heard it and you talk about it, but I really didn't think it would happen. And so it just caught him off guard. He's going to pay probably $40,000 something for this house. He also, the staining on the decks was not waterproof, so that got damaged also. He called me today and told me that his insurance company will not cover this claim. And I told him that's not surprising, because when my company had changed a house, they sent out a rep, they took a sample board, took it back to their lab. They said there was no evidence of SH and no evidence of surfactant. And the bottom line was, we washed it incorrectly. That's all they said. So when we got the results, I went back down there and said, well, tell me how to wash this correctly. I've been doing this for years. We have never had this happen to us before. Tell me how to wash this correctly so I can do it right. And they had nothing to say. They had no idea what to tell me. The reason they put on there it was washed incorrectly is it takes it out of their hands and puts us at blame. We're at fault now. So when insurance companies start getting these claims and the paint manufacturing companies say, oh, they didn't wash it correctly, they're at fault. The insurance companies are not going to cover this. I hope and pray that some other contractors out there, their insurance did cover it for them, because this is a huge expense. We were lucky we didn't have to go through our insurance when we changed ours, but this is a huge expense for you contractors out there and us as contractors. Just probably about 5 months ago, my husband was out washing and he tested the body of the house, started washing this huge 3-story beach house. It had 6 balconies on it, and guess what? They had just repainted the ceilings of all these porches. It was going to cost $12,000 to paint these 6 porches, the ceilings, just the ceilings. So I talked to the homeowner, explained what happened, and we went 50-50 on it. So we paid $6,000 and they paid $6,000, and we called it a day so we didn't have to claim it on our insurance. So, a lot of guys who've never had this happen to them really don't believe that it could happen. Not sure what they're not believing about it, because it's happened to so many contractors, and it will continue to happen. And until we find a way to make us not liable, which I am working so hard to try and make this happen. I've got a lot of evidence, I got a lot of proof. It's just trying to get it out there without me having to hire lawyers to go after these huge companies. I can't, as a contractor, I can't afford to do that. So I'm hoping that they're already in litigation with another company, so I'm hoping we get great results on that, and then we can piggyback off that. But right now, all I say is please just test every painted surface. It is not one paint manufacturer, it is a pigment. It is a pigment issue, not a paint issue. So please, to do yourself a favor and save you from any high-end expenses, please test and make sure that you test every area. Ask the homeowner if anything's been repainted. Ask to see the can of paint, the color code. Magenta R3 is the culprit in most of these cases. The only one I found so far, every time a contractor says, hey, I tested and it changed, I ask them, please send me the color code, because if there's another color code, I'm going to be starting mixing paints with all of those different pigments in there, so I can figure out what other color code causes it. So I've done a lot of work. There's still a lot to be done, and I just want you guys to please protect yourself, and I'll keep testing products. I'm praying I find one that we can downstream, because this pump up spraying and rinsing off is for the birds. We don't have time in our life to do this. The chemical is more expensive. It is a great chemical and it has its uses, but if we're trying to keep the cost down for our homeowners for the cleaning and keep it efficient for us, then there has to be another way. But right now I haven't found it. I'll keep testing and I'll keep trying, and I'll do what I can to come up with something if I can. I'm working with chemists to see if there's something they can do. I've painted sample boards. I've sent it to my chemist and said, hey, I need something to clean this without changing it that will also kill the mildew. So I'm working on that. So far I haven't come up with anything. They haven't come up with anything. But just remember, check your insurance company. Give them the scenario. Ask them, hey, if this happens to me, am I covered? And I pray you are, because painting a house is not cheap. And just, make sure, take 2 extra minutes before you start and just do a sample, to test all over. Just on the house, on the ceiling, on the trim, and anything that's a different color. Test every area and just communicate with your homeowners and your customers. Make sure you ask them questions. Anyway, I'll be going over this class in more detail, more information, slideshow, more things that I've come up. I'll be testing more chemicals. So it'll be, I'm teaching at the PWNA convention, and I will be doing it in my event in November 13th or 14th. We'll be doing my class and then follow it up with other plant and property protection class along with it. So if you could make it, it's free for you guys. Just find a place to stay. There's discount codes on the registration. Just go down to where it says show more, and it is discount codes for the condos there. It is a family friendly place. Our social's going to be at a family place. It's got bowling, it's got arcade, it's got skating rink, so it's going to be fun for everybody. But this isn't about the event, but if you do want to see my class, I'll be at the PWNA and then my event in November. And guys, just stay humble, hustle hard, and please test before you start spraying.